petty all the time. I'm petty all the time.
Baby, welcome to the party.
Give me a P. Give me a E. Give me a T. T-Y. I'm petty all the time. Give me a P. Give me a E. Give me a T. T-Y. I'm petty all the time.
Hey y'all, it's your favorite ladies petty party podcast coming at y'all with another episode. It's your girl Amakalette coming out the set. What's good?
Hey y'all, and it's your girl Shelly Shell.
Hey everyone, it's Just Nick checking in, and we have a special guest with us today. We'll let him introduce himself.
My name is Nate, known as From Nate with Love. What's up? What's up? What's up? It's good to be here.
Yeah, thank you for joining us.
It's good to be here.
Nice to have you.
Yeah, nice to have you.
Sure.
You want to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Dallas, I was going to say Dallas native, but not a Dallas native.
Don't lie.
Yeah,
Don't go your line.
Philly native here in Dallas. Love it here. My brain talks a lot about relationships and vulnerability. So
Nice. I have a question.
What's up?
Since you're from Philly, do you watch Abbott Elementary?
No,
Wow, you got to get
I've
into
never
it.
seen it.
It takes place in your hometown.
I've never seen it.
Yeah. What? Really?
I've never seen it.
I feel like you like it.
For real? Why?
Yeah. Just your vibe. It's very Philly.
Okay.
Yeah, it's very Philly.
What is very Philly?
I don't know. I just made it up. But like, I mean, every person I've recommended the show to, they love it. Like, it's just funny, kind of dry humor, you know. A black woman's the one who wrote the show and still writing for it. So I love it.
Yeah.
Quinta Brunson.
You know what humor reminds me of? It reminds me of the Everybody
Chris?
Hates Chris
Yeah.
humor.
And he's on in the show.
He's on the
Yeah.
the main character.
It's just like that.
It is. I don't know. I can't do like dry comedy.
But the thing is, it's crazy. I thought season 1 was more dry, but now it's like actually like
funny?
I'm rolling every episode. I can't stop laughing. Like
Is it like The Office, Schitt's Creek, something like that?
it's like The Office.
I got you.
but
I think
with
it's like The
black people.
Office, but black people.
Okay, I got you.
And you know, we
Yeah.
be doing it's just funny. Like, and then it reminds you of like when you were like in elementary school, middle school, high school, like how the teachers were, all that. It's just funny. I think y'all should watch it.
I feel that.
So, how do you feel about Dallas dating scene?
Ew. I hate this question.
Basura.
I think it's probably great for men, not so much for women. Right?
Really?
You know, it's crazy loud it, because
Yeah.
I feel like guys say the
make that a
opposite.
clip. Make that a soundbite.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
Like,
Why do you think
Yeah.
it's great for men?
yeah.
I think men have more options here. You know, there are
Is
some.
that so? You know, that's real.
Yeah, there are some.
That's
There's some women here that are doing some amazing things.
Mm-hmm.
I just think that there are more options for men. I think for y'all though, it's trash.
Slim
For
So, you
real.
think there are more women doing things than men?
It's true.
Do I think that there are more? Do I think that there are more women doing things here than men? I don't know. There are a lot of women doing some big things. You know what I'm saying? There are a lot of women doing some big things. So I don't know if it's more or less, but yeah.
So what do y'all think has to happen in Dallas for the scene to become better for us?
For who?
For women, the dating scene.
It's the swirl summer. I think we got to start
I don't
dating
know.
outside of our race.
Is Dallas by force? I don't think you have to date somebody
Yeah,
from Dallas.
You really
'cause live
don't.
here.
You could Nigeria.
I would almost think that Dallas
UK.
is better for transplants.
For dating
Yeah.
wise? Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, because it's such a small
Yeah,
city.
If you're not from
Not
here,
much
like,
to do
it
but talk and
works.
listen. But yeah, I feel like when you grow up in Dallas, you know
Yeah.
everybody. So like even the people who like could possibly be like really good options, it's like you kind of
They're not even an option.
You know, or they've dated
They date
someone you dated, or like
Yeah.
you know something about them that you low key shouldn't know.
Right.
So when you're a transplant, it's like you're so fresh and far removed that you really don't know a lot of stuff. So it's like you can date like with like a clean slate.
Do I count as a transplant?
Yeah.
Yes.
20
I don't know
years?
because you never said how long you've been here.
I've been here for 20 years.
Oh,
20
then no, you're not a
Wait,
transplant
and
anymore.
you're-
Maybe you.
How old are you again?
37.
37. Okay.
Oh, then you're from here.
So you basically are. Yeah.
Unless, I think I'm from here?
yeah, you got here.
Kind
And
of.
you're
You
like in high school.
You did high school, right?
Not like
I
17.
did.
That's
Yeah, I
after.
did. I mean, I was here as a sophomore.
Oh, then yeah, you
Yeah,
born here.
so then you were-
here.
I'm not.
You Dallas.
Stop it.
It's okay.
So you
Next
think
time wear a
we'll be-
different hat.
So you think
Dallas
it would be different for me versus someone who came later?
Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
absolutely.
Yeah,
Just
for
because
sure.
you formed those relationships with people like young, like even before you really got to like into serious dating.
Sure.
I feel like whereas like people that just moved here like in their 20s, 30s, it's a little bit different.
For sure.
You don't know people's past and history. You do, you know? Or you know, like Michelle said, like through a friend, like there's a girl that maybe dated a friend and you just know about her through that way. Which, by the way, would you date her still?
If she dated one of my friends?
Mm-hmm.
And they were intimate.
How long ago?
Ooh, does it matter?
10 years.
10 years. So it depends on how her and I met.
Okay.
Okay. So if her and I met and we had no knowledge that, you know what I'm saying, she dated a friend or dealt with a friend, and her and I begin to deal with each other, I think that would be different than me meeting someone through that friend or having prior knowledge that that's that person's ex. And then I still feel like, you know what I'm saying, that's somebody I have to deal with.
So do you think your friend would like still feel away even though y'all didn't know about their past, right? But when y'all did find out, where do y'all go from there?
I mean, if we already crossed lines,
It's like
It is what it is.
what it is at that
So
point.
you-
It's like I didn't do it with malicious
Right.
intent. We
Right.
built a genuine connection.
Okay, I respect that.
Y'all dealt with each other in the past. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't aware. We weren't aware.
So
Maybe she was aware and I wasn't.
right.
That's
maybe.
a possibility too.
I have a question like with men, because I know like with women it's kind of different. But with men, like, how do y'all handle that? How do y'all navigate the friendship? Like, is it going to be weird moving forward? Or like, it's kind of like, I mean, I dated your ex. Okay, I'm with her now. Like, how is that?
I also believe that I think it depends on the relational equity that me and that friend have as well, right? If we're really, really close, like that's my brother and he feels a way about it, that may be something that I'll consider. If it's like
Really? You would stop?
possibly if like he and I are really, really, really close.
Like family?
Yeah, and we have deep relational equity and maybe her and I are a newer thing. That may be something that I would consider. But if it's like, yo, we went to high school together, we used to play basketball together, like we don't really have a deep seated connection, then I don't think that I would allow that to impact my decision to continue to date shorty.
Y'all just went to high school. That's not even friendship.
Yeah, like,
You went to high school together? Do you know me for real?
We were friends in high school, but we don't really keep in touch, you know. But if it's somebody I have deep relational equity with, you know, we talk on a consistent basis, you know, and I think that may sway my decision.
Okay. All right, y'all. So we're going to go ahead and jump into our motto.
Okay. So to start it off, this one, well, they didn't title this one, so it's just motto. So it starts like this. Hey, ladies, huge fan of the podcast, and I love you all. Love you too. I need some advice. So basically, I just started dating again and I met this boy. So of course, like us girls do, we show our friends who we're talking to. So I showed two of my friends, and one friend, we call her S, immediately says, ooh, and he dark skinned, which was weird because if you know her, you know she is very vocal and speaks her mind, and any other guy I have shown her, she calls him ugly. But all she had to say was that. So I thought it was weird, but I brushed it off fast. Fast forward, me and him are in the car, and my friends group FaceTime me and I tell them I'm with him and show him my other friend, we will call her C, said hi and was chatting it up for a little, but the whole time S is in the corner smiling like a Cheshire cat, not talking or anything. And like I said, she is very outgoing. She never acts like that. So again, I brush it off because I'm just thinking I'm overthinking. Fast forwarded it some days later, I'm over at C's house and S FaceTimes me. So we're all talking and the topic of sex comes up and I state that me and him are going to wait and not do anything right now. S goes, girl, he look like he has a big dick. I think you should enjoy it. So I immediately go, huh? Who? She goes, him. I think you're really going to like it. So me and C look at each other in confusion because what does that mean? I didn't say anything at the moment because I was so confused. Fast forward some days later, me and him stopped talking. So I told myself, maybe I don't need to address what she said because one, this was just someone I was just getting to know. Second, it's a man. They're here today, gone tomorrow. And third, she's been a good friend. She's been a good friend since sorry, no shade, girl, but some errors in here. But, and third, she has been a good friend since we've met. But my other friend said I should still have the convo because it's the principle. What do you guys think? Should I leave it alone or adjust the issue?
Okay, you're gonna have to have the conversation.
Really?
Absolutely.
Why?
Because that's weird.
I mean, it is weird.
Well, okay.
That's weird. Okay, so for one, I actually thought S was like knew him from the past.
Yeah, I thought they broke off because they're together now.
Because one, you say like, okay, he's dark skinned. Okay, cool. Like you have a type, you like him, he's attractive, whatever. But then to be talking about he looks like he has a big dick.
But like,
that's
I don't
crazy.
think but like when you're talking amongst your girlfriends, right? And Nate, chime in if you want, because like I don't know how guys do it, but like, you know, sometimes you're like, oh yeah, like he looked like
he's packing, yeah.
Like I don't think she meant to like, oh yeah, I want him. I think she was just like, he looked like, girl, you like he'll lay that pie down. Like it's just like girl chat.
But if your friend comes to you and says, hey, him and I are going to wait.
Oh, yeah.
We've decided to wait. And you're trying to encourage her to not wait because he looks like he has a...
Because, like, I think, like, from how I heard it, I feel like she was coming at a standpoint, like, I mean, like, you know, girl, look, he got a big this and that, like, you'll enjoy it, like, but I don't think she was like, go ahead and spread. I don't think she was telling her that. I think, like, it's just girl chat, like,
No, but I think she was. I think it was
telling her to spread.
I think the context was she's telling her friends, like, you know, me and him are gonna wait.
Right.
She's pretty much saying, like, girl, are you crazy? Like, he really got a big D. Like,
I thought she was just like,
you're gonna
girl
like it.
chat, like, when you do experience it, I think he gonna lay it down. Like, I didn't think that she was like trying to coerce you to like, oh yeah, girl, go ahead and just give it up. I don't think she was saying that, but if you felt that way, a good conversation, clarify it and move on from it.
But I don't even know if that was the weird part about it. To me, I'm not gonna lie, because I know why you thought it was weird, girl, because I don't play with the niggas I date.
Yeah.
Like, I really don't play those games. So like, but I'm very much checking in the moment, because the first time you was like, oh, he dark skinned, like, girl, you like him? Like, what's really good?
Yeah.
Like, why are you getting hyped? Like, you better talk to him next. Like, do you want me to pass you his number? Like, what's really tea here? Like, I'm really that person. Like, check it in the moment. The moment you felt weird about it, I think you should have spoke
Said
up.
something.
I think it gets weird. They're saying something further down the line, because
That's
now
true.
you have to bring up every instance where you felt some kind of way. And to her, she's gonna be looking at you crazy, because not because you have no right to speak on how you feel, but mainly because it's like, wow, clearly
Why
she
now?
doesn't really think she has any ill intent. I don't think she does, to be honest. I think she's just one of those girls who moves weird. You know what I mean?
I don't think it's as deep as... I don't think it's deep. Yeah, I don't think it's as deep as maybe she may feel it is.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a situation where she really likes that dude for her. Right? And so she like, girl, if you don't experience that, if you don't, you know what I'm saying? Now I get it. If you say that you want to be abstinent and somebody's encouraging you not to be, you know what I'm saying? Maybe you could have the conversation and say, yo, I really am dedicated to this. So I would appreciate if you know what I'm saying, kind of honor that. But I don't really think it's deep.
I don't feel like her friend was coming from that angle of like, I said, I didn't get that she was trying to pressure her to spread it. Like,
at first I thought it was going to be a situation where she's actually dealt with this dude.
That's what I thought too.
I was waiting for the kicker.
Right.
I'm like, okay, come on.
But just saying like, girl, like you better, you know, I don't see it as being malicious. I just think it's like she said, girl talk.
But my question is, it's like the fact that we all even thought the story was gonna go there.
Yeah. Because
why would you? But why would you think that? Because of her actions, because of her words, you know.
Because I'm not gonna lie, I'm
so
hearing.
Don't you think that is a little bit weird that she would be?
If you're drawing that conclusion, what made you draw that conclusion?
Because like it was just like the whole like from the car, like, oh, he's dark, like it's like, you know, little tidbits, but then like when finally I got to the end of the story, it's like that's it. Like she didn't date him. Like it was just that was that. No, she did not mean a way to make you. She wasn't trying to pressure you. Like, I think it was just girl conversation. Maybe you can't handle girl conversation, and it's okay. But like, I don't think now it should be a whole entire conversation about how you made me feel. And you're not even dealing with him no more. Let it go. Like,
do you think it has something to do with the fact that I mean, I think that sometimes when you really like somebody, you can take things a little bit
too serious,
more personally than maybe you should. Do you feel like it could have been that as well? Like I really like this guy, and I don't like that you saying that he looked like he got a. You know what I'm saying? I don't like the fact that you saying. I don't like the fact that you saying that. Oh, he dark skinned. Like, do you like my man? Type of thing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Just know. I agree. Yes, it probably does have to do with the fact that she really likes him. But I just know, like with me and my friends, like if I came to y'all would never comment on anyone I was dating's package. Y'all wouldn't even like that. Wouldn't be a place that y'all would go. And I understand that she's vocal and she's outgoing and she's this and that, but there should still also be like boundaries, because that can make someone feel really uncomfortable, like it clearly did the writer.
But what if like that's another thing too. That's your friend and that's her personality. You're always saying she's vocal and outspoken, so like.
But I don't think that's an excuse to like overstep somebody's boundaries, which is the only reason why I think a conversation should be had, because clearly like. Their communication, they could easily offend each other, because she clearly has boundaries that C, her other friend, understood. Because there was a moment that happened where C and her exchanged looks with C knowing that whatever comment she made was going to make the writer feel uncomfortable. So clearly that's something that S is not aware of. So in order for that friendship to go on without any kind of like further conflict, it is best to sit down and just be like, hey, you know, I know you don't mean anything by it, but when it comes to people I like I really feel uncomfortable when my friends make any kind of like provocative remarks in regards to them. If you could just maybe just like not do that. I know you don't mean any kind of way from it, but to protect our friendship, I just want to let you know I don't like really get down like that. I think that would be fair, because if not, nothing happened with this relationship. But the next guy, it could go further, and relationships can really affect friendships.
Do y'all believe that there's a possibility that she may have dealt with, homie?
I don't think so.
No, I don't think so. No.
She wouldn't be that.
Because why would you be that eager for her to now go behind and have sex with him too? And
there are girls out here that are like that.
But there are some women who they'll have crushes on their friends' significant others.
Yes, it happens a lot.
Like little like baby crushes.
Like baby crushes.
So do y'all feel like that could be the concern? That like, do you
so.
actually like? Because I mean, I can understand that. Like, why you keep commenting on somebody that you know what I'm saying? I can understand that for sure. You know what I'm saying? If she feels like
why you flirting?
Yeah, you really like the person that I'm dealing with, then that could be a concern.
Because like to like spin that around, have y'all ever been in a relationship and like one of your like partner's friends, they just make you feel a little uncomfortable like with the way the comments they make? That has happened to me, and no. Like, I feel like you have to have a conversation sometimes in that moment. Because, like, who was to say, like, let's say that relationship did go further and, like, now they're, like, an item and they're a monogamous relationship. And then you bring him around S, and S is, like, making comments towards him, like, I don't want to say. But, you know, like, and it makes him feel uncomfortable. So I feel like sometimes you have to, like, address that ahead of time.
Comments like what?
Like, ooh, he look good, girl.
No, like, no, to him.
Sir.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
You really working that suit.
Have you ever seen?
Yo, that's childish. That's livid. She would be livid, fuming. Do you hear me?
Like,
No. Have you ever seen that
Sidebar.
clip of Cardi B where she's talking about how like I hate like when you're friends with somebody, every time your man come around, she normally talk about Pop Smoke. All of a sudden now she all dainty and shit she don't do, and it's like, bitch, what's wrong with you? Like, why you acting different? And it's like,
Girl.
a lot of girls be like that.
I've been around that, and like it's just cringy.
Yeah, it's like all of a sudden it's like not. I know pick me's overused, but that's really the word.
That is a
for
pick
it.
me. Yeah,
it is.
Very pick me behavior. Like, be yourself. They'll like you.
Okay, so I guess overall, well, some of us are saying to have the conversation.
It wouldn't
have a
hurt.
conversation. I mean, it wouldn't hurt, but I actually have something to like just chime in on, not about the moto. So I was actually listening to another podcast, and I wish they would have said the name of the speaker, but like they were basically talking about how like in this generation now that we're in, like we're like, yes, we're aware, we're mentally aware, we understand like conversations and like how people's feeling and stuff, but sometimes it's to a point where like we're weakening ourselves. Like, for example, like, I don't even want to use this example. Say, like, for, like, this whole thing, like, oh, boundaries and things like that. A lot of people are using that as, like, to me, a scapegoat of, like, not learning how to have, like, good conversation skills to be, like, you know, conflict resolution skills. Like, sharpen it up a little bit. Like, yeah, someone may have crossed your boundaries. That doesn't mean now you have to cut them off and, like, now act away. Like, now you need to learn how to communicate your feelings in a way where they're going to receive it and y'all can have a nice, effective conversation. And like, she was just basically touching base. Like, there's a lot of things going on in this world that we're like using words, overusing like narcissism. Like, we're misusing words, and now it's like weakening us as individuals. Like, we don't even know how to deal with people anymore. Everything's cancel culture. Everything's walk away from this. Like, we don't even know how to like deal anymore. And that's why like the world is going in the direction it's going in. And I kind of agree. I feel like sometimes we can be a little bit too like, I don't want to say sensitive, but it's like too aware. It's like, okay, can we just have a conversation? Like, why is it you cross my boundary? I'm done with you. It's like, can we chat? Like, let's get to the bottom of this. Like, I don't think it needs to go there, but yeah, I just feel like a lot of people are just too quick to like chunk up the deuce or just like, you know, just take things so like, you know, over the top in reactions. So that was just
Yeah. I mean, I do think that cancel culture now is like, we've talked about it on this podcast before. Sometimes it's a little too like hasty in the way that it does go about it. But I would need to like see like the entire like clip and things like that to actually hear it. But I do think that it's important that we are now talking about our emotions and our feelings more, because I do think that we think about even like our parents' generation, they didn't talk about those things, and they just endured a lot of different things. And now that has created levels and levels of trauma. And so I feel like with our generation, we're trying to like kind of stop that. And so by stopping that, you know, we're drawing clear lines. Like, it's no longer like a gray area. We're making it very black and white on like, hey, this is my boundary. This is not what I'm going to put up with. And to protect themselves, they're willing to walk away. So I feel like it just depends. Like, I don't agree with people quitting on things quickly, like without trying to like resolve it or have a conversation. But I do think that it's like admirable to leave something that's not suiting you. or not fulfilling you.
So, okay, because I'm going to use this as a segue because you talked about leaving things that aren't fulfilling you. And you asked the question earlier. He asked it off the pod, but I want him to ask it on the pod because it really did like open up some like really good conversation. Did you want to ask it again?
Yeah. So to give a little bit of context, recently I was a part of a show, and at the show, there was a young lady that asked a question. She was in a marriage for, I actually don't know how long she was married, but it came out that the person that she was dating, the person that she was married to was involved in a 7-year affair. And so on that show, through a series of questions, we all discovered that she actually wanted to stay and work her marriage out. At that show, I told the young lady that I'm proud of her for being willing to fight for her marriage. I wasn't saying that she should. I wasn't saying that she shouldn't. So I wasn't saying that she should stay. I wasn't saying that she should leave. I was just saying that, I applaud you. I mean, if you have a desire to stay, applaud you for fighting for that marriage. Mm-hmm. Some of you gave feedback. As a matter of fact, I don't know if you guys want to share some of the feedback that you guys had. And then I asked a question after that. So what's some of the things that y'all said in regard to that particular scenario?
Well, I understood your statement with saying, I see it's commendable to be working things out. I understood what your intent behind that statement. I understand how some people in the audience were like, no, sir, it's a negative, because to me, 7 years, you've been with someone, I don't even know how long they were married for, but they knew each other for 33 years. So to me, it's dang, a 7-year affair, you made another emotional connection with somebody, and then y'all were intimate for 7 years. To me, it's there's nothing here anymore. And yes, they have kids, and the kids are all grown. So now it's what are you really staying for? At this moment, your kid, you've done what y'all need to do. You raised your kids. They're all living their life. Now it's time for you to go take your life back, because 7 years to me, I'm not going to lie, that's too long. That's too long to be in an affair with somebody. And then me find out and then want to work it out. To me, it's I want to leave. And maybe I felt her when she said she pulled her piece out. I probably would have put a bullet into somebody too on the way out. So yeah, I felt it.
I mean, so in regards to your response to her, from what I got, and this is me, my conclusion, I feel like male validation was really important to her. And I feel like you kind of fed into that. It was one of those things where it was okay, say, look, this is another man telling me that this is the right thing to do. Whenever, in actuality, for me, I don't think it was the right thing to do. I think that she needs to put herself first. And it was just almost one of those, I don't know, I felt like it was just you're just clapping for her. Yeah, thanks for being a good Black woman and staying by your husband and fighting for it, even though he didn't fight for you for the last 7 years.
Only way I'll say no, because it felt like y'all, when she was up there talking, it kind of felt like she wasn't getting dogpiled on, but it kind of felt that way. And to me, sometimes there has to be someone that's there hey, it's okay that you're working this out. I don't want you to now feel this way about yourself, And I think that was the direction you were going. That's what I took from it. I didn't think you were validating male, but I didn't think that was, I didn't think what you said, but I mean, maybe two things be true. Yeah,
so. which I understood in the moment. It wasn't so much boo whore, like you said. You didn't say nothing bad, because I do agree with Paula. It did seem for someone to tell a story that's so vulnerable and low-key a little bit embarrassing. I do think that she 100% expected everyone to just be you're a dumbass, you should leave this man, But I do think, I understand that moment to just, as a woman, look at her and just be it's commendable. What you're doing is not easy, actually. What you're doing is not easy. I know you're up against a lot, and it takes a lot of courage. And, I understand that I applaud you for coming out. I applaud you for coming out here and sharing that. That I understand. Yeah. But my thing is, I think the reason why I kind of cringed at it was just because I think as Black women, it's just the whole trope of just staying by this cheating ass, no good Black man. It's just you know what? You a strong Black woman. Shout outs to you for sticking through. When in actuality, is no, should we be shouting you out? I want to shout out the woman who actually has the courage to walk away from the situation and know that she's enough, know that she doesn't need this man who clearly does not care for her, doesn't care for your safety, does not care for your health. Because 7 years is a long time to be sleeping with somebody else. And especially if you're married, you don't even know who that woman's sleeping with for 7 years. So it's kind of just like he's opened you up to so many like things. He has no regard for you. So it's like for you to want to stay in that, I think the real question is, let's unpack why you want to stay in this marriage, because she didn't even say anything good about him at that moment. It'd be one thing if she was like, you know, he builds me up, you know, he empowers me. Like all she said was like, he's cheated on me for 7 years and he don't want to go to therapy. It's like,
time.
Why do you want to stay with him? Like he barely wants to stay with you, sis. Like he's been fighting to leave. Why are you fighting to stay? So that's why to me, it's like I wasn't understanding like why we was like trying to convince her she was doing the right thing. Because sis run. But I understood where you was going with it.
Yeah, for sure. I actually I remember her saying that he was willing to fight for the marriage. I don't remember her saying that
he barely had time for therapy.
But remember, she said that they started off going to therapy, and now he says that he doesn't have time.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did say that. He did say that.
Now,
they definitely need therapy for sure. They definitely need therapy. But yeah, I wasn't advocating for either side. I wasn't advocating for her to stay or for her to leave, right? I think the questions that we were asking was to discover what she had a desire to do, you know? And so even if she would have said, you know, I'm leaving, I would have applauded her for her courage to leave. It takes courage to leave and stay,
Okay.
right? It takes courage to fight, and it takes courage to decide that this is not for you anymore. You know what I'm saying? So both take courage. But I wanted her to know, because there were a lot of people on stage that kind of was like, girl, you crazy, and I just wanted her to know that she's justified in whatever decision she chooses. You know what I'm saying? It's her marriage, and she has a right to make the decision that she feels is best for her. And we have to also remember that even if she makes that decision initially, that doesn't mean that she won't change her mind down the road, right? Or down the line. But you know, they have a family, they have a marriage. As messed up as a marriage may be, they still are in covenant with each other. He compromised that covenant. They still are in covenant with each other. And so I was just applauding her for having the courage to fight for the marriage for however long that may be, or for however long she may decide to do that. The question that came after that, the question that came out of that was, you know, well, first we said there are people that have stayed and worked through worse, right? And there are people that have left for a lot less as well, right? So the question that ended up coming up was, which one would you guys choose if you could choose one? Somebody has a one-night stand with somebody, they have a child. Hi, how are you? Somebody has a one-night stand with someone, they have a child. It wasn't a 7-year affair, but a child was born out of that affair. Versus someone that was in a relationship with somebody on the side for 7 years. Like, which one would you choose if you had to choose a hard, if you will? Pick your heart.
So I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna have to choose the 7-year affair, because you have a baby on me. I can't be reminded every holiday, every Sunday, every gathering. I don't want to see you. And like, if I have kids already, I already know my motherly nature. I'm gonna accept you, because why would I not? You know. And so I will have to choose the 7-year affair, because to me, I feel like that's a easier hard than taking care of a kid that's not yours forever.
We have to choose.
No, so
choose your hard.
Pretty much, it's which. Oh, by the way, welcome, Crystal.
Yeah, Crystal's
she's popping out of here.
Can't even introduce.
Oh, broke the fourth wall, but it's okay, guys. But no, I thought not choosing. I'm sorry, but I'm not choosing a struggle.
Or okay,
the option either is to leave.
Not so much which one would you choose, but which one do you think would be easier to get over? Because we already had a conversation about how, I mean, leaving a 7-year, leaving a marriage where someone's had an affair for 7 years is probably really tough. But you've been with that person for a very long time. People have been through worse. So his question was more so like, okay, well, there are people who have been able to get over someone who's had a baby. Do you think you can? Which one do you think would be easier to get over? Like, would you rather deal with your husband having, I mean, God forbid, knock on wood, but would you rather deal with your husband having a baby on you or having a 7-year affair?
I heard the question. No shade.
You refuse to answer?
Yes, because
I feel you. It's
I'm like,
time.
neither.
Are you for real?
Yes, neither.
Just choose your hard.
Why would I do that?
But yeah, so the question doesn't have to apply to you directly.
Yeah.
It could be which one do you think is easier to overcome?
Yeah.
Probably, or easier, probably the one without the baby.
7-year?
Yeah,
7-year affair.
7 year. But it's at the same time, it's still just like people, because here's the thing. People can have sex one time and a baby comes from that. You could be with somebody 7 years and like, you know what I mean? So it just depends on like the emotional connection that you made. I feel like obviously both would be hard to like heal from. And there's no easier one, so to speak. Like, I don't know. Because again, it's like you could be dealing with somebody 7 years and no baby and have sex with somebody one time and a baby comes. So it's like, you know what I mean?
Which
like,
was the example.
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, obviously I feel like, again, the one without the child would be easier to heal from, but it's still just like, there's so much damage to unravel there that I don't think I would put myself in a predicament to even have to like, you know what I mean? Like to just, that the mental, like, it's torture, I feel like. So, yeah, I know.
Yeah. For me, I feel like, honestly speaking, I feel like the baby one, like for the relationship would be easier to heal from. Because I think it's easier. And let me explain why. Because I think from a relationship aspect, it's easier to see like, okay, you had a one night stand and this baby's is a result of that, right? I can heal from the fact that you cheated on me. Now, as far as healing publicly and facing the public with that, I think that's where it gets tough because it is hard to move forward and have to always answer the question like, okay, you have a 10-year-old and you have a 7-year-old, you have a 5-year-old, but the 7-year-old's not yours. And y'all been married how many years? I think answering that question a lot of times that'll be hard to get through publicly.
That's
you know
crazy
what I mean?
that people are asking people those type of questions.
No, but even when the girls be going on like Real Housewives, and they're always trying to go down their family tree. Even Angela, when she was talking about her family tree, it's like there was a break baby. Was there a break baby in between? Like it's like even Jazzy from Real Housewives of Potomac when she was
Lala with Carmelo Anthony, Dwayne
like,
Wade, and Gabrielle Union.
When they explain their children, it's like you put two and two together off the rip. It's kind of like, oh, you've been with your wife how old? But how? Yeah, no. So I think in situations like that, it kind of just naturally comes up. Like when you're having to like tell people, oh, I have 5 kids, but I've only been with him for 4 years. Like,
it's just evidence that he cheated on you. I think that's the only thing that makes it tough. But I do think it'll be easier to get over that. I think the reason why 7 years is tough is because 7 years is a very long time. And that means the person who I knew for 7 years, I have to tell myself, I don't know who you are because either I knew the whole time and I was asking you questions, you was gaslighting me, or you was like making me feel crazy for like second guessing where you're going and your goings and comings. Yeah. Or I knew nothing. And that's even worse because like you really had a 7-year affair. And where is this woman? It's so she's done.
That's
you know what I mean? You can do that to me for like you can not how many that's like you cheated on me 1,000 times pretty much. Yeah. And you had no remorse. To me, I think that's like so much of a mental fuck that I don't think that I could ever get over that. I don't think there's any healing from that. It's just like, okay, we have a new relationship now where I believe that you're capable of doing this to me. Pretty much. It's not a mistake.
And then also, like you said, the emotions behind it, like the emotions are not as deep behind like a one night stand and you have a baby out of it compared to a 7-year affair. You know, like a 7-year affair, at the end of the day, you're in love with that person. And so now I'm thinking like, well, how can you be in love with both of us?
Right.
Or did you love her more than you loved me? You know, like, were you just tolerating me? Like, there's going to be a lot of things that there's just the way that my mind is set up. The reason why we couldn't get over a 7-year relation or a 7-year affair is because of me. Because I'm never going to be able to trust you again. I'm never going to be able to look at you the same. Whereas, don't get me wrong, I don't want the baby, but I feel like that would be something that I could work through a little bit easier.
Only reason why I'll say that it sounds easy. It sounds like it'll be easy to work through, but you have to understand your dynamics of your family has shifted greatly, and you every day are now having to like pick up the pieces for your children. Or like it's not just you that you have to work for this for. It's your kids too. Like their perception of a family has changed, and you now have to manage that. That's why I say like that's my answer is going there. It's like I can't handle that. Like I know I can't. Like I'm not about to sit here and like watching you have a family outside our family, and then I have to clean up your mess with our kids. Like that's a lot for a woman to deal with, and then I gotta watch you go be a father to with another one, and I'm still your wife.
And
I don't know if I can handle that.
Co-parenting, which means that she's gonna.
You get me? Like why am I co-parenting? Like
ever,
and I'm married,
basically.
Like, not do like to me it's like that's a challenge in itself because like kids like that's why I always tell people like that want to get married and want to have kids, like it's a huge responsibility. Like you owe it to them to make sure they grow up in this life and don't experience certain things. So to me, I'm not gonna put myself in that position to now you have a extra sibling. It's not from me though. your dad was out wilding out, and now they're gonna start talking to their dad crazy, and like, how do you manage that?
I don't. He does.
No,
I'm
but like, you get what I'm saying?
But
Like,
at one point you will have to.
yeah, but I don't want my kids disrespecting even though he did some nonsense to me, don't ever want my kids disrespecting him. Like, so it's like, that's a weird dynamic to navigate. Like, that's hell on earth.
But I feel like regardless of the fact, crazy enough, I feel like if you have children involved that are still in the house, even with a 7-year affair, the kids are going to know. They're going to find out. Like, so regardless, the father's going to have to deal with some type of level of like having to like gain his trust back with his children.
Yeah.
Regardless. So it's like, I don't know. Like I said, a 7-year affair for me would just be, it'd just be the end of the road.
And so that's the reason why when I said I applaud you for being willing to fight for your marriage.
Yeah.
It was met with some resistance.
Well, because here's my, I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Because I feel like which all the while I do appreciate your answer, because it's like you were just coming from a perspective of like, you know what, you're fighting for what you signed up for. Congratulations. That's
not even what you signed up for. You're fighting for what you believe is best for you right now.
Yeah.
You know?
But I also feel like, I don't know, it's sort of like a slippery slope, because it's like on one hand, all the while I want you to tell you like, hey, you made this promise before God, so it's up to you to honor it in whatever way that means to you. But on another hand, it's kind of just like, as a woman, it's like, why would I tell you to continue to put yourself through that agony? Like, it's so like I want you to free yourself as a woman. You know what I mean? Because it's like, I do feel like we get under these like almost spells where it's like we feel like you have to make it out in marriage is everything. And like you almost, and women, a lot of times, women and men spend time suffering in a marriage together. And so it's just like, why do you have to you can free yourself from that. So I don't know. It's also like, it's a slippery slope.
My thing is like, so basically like, no, and correct me if I'm wrong, for what I'm getting from it, it's like, so is it a bad thing to want to like repair your broken marriage?
No, I don't
like,
I don't think it's a bad
like,
thing.
We're saying like not telling a woman to go back to something, but it's like at the same time, like, marriage is a big deal, y'all. Like, this is not, you're not boyfriend and girlfriend.
Yeah.
Like, this is a different ball game. Like,
no,
you know, like, life was never going to be perfect. I'm not saying, you know, I'm not telling people your marriage is going to be perfect, but it's like, you will have some obstacles.
Yeah.
Some challenges that you're going to have to work through together.
The crazy thing is like, even in the Bible, that is actually a reason for you to be able to leave. So it's like, the fact that we're even able to put that as a reason, but then we're still continuously telling people marriage is a big deal. Yeah, you're right. It's a big deal, but he didn't think it was.
Right.
Yeah.
You know?
Question,
so the thing is, it's
clarification. Like, I'm not saying that you should.
Yeah, it's just
okay.
But I know, but that's what I'm saying. So it's like, for me, that's not going to always be my first thing to tell a woman is like, hey, like, marriage is such a big deal. You should fight for it. You know what? It's also a big deal. Your mental health.
Yeah.
It also is important to ask someone, what do you want to do? Like,
and that's I was just about to say that. I think the biggest part of it was, first of all, I think it's important when someone is in a marriage to allow them to tell you what they have a desire to do right now. You know what I'm saying? I think a lot of times, especially as single people, you know, we go to these shows and we're giving advice or whatever case may be. But a lot of times as single people, we're giving married people advice on what they should do.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So for me, if she would have said, I'm done with the marriage, I want to leave, I would have still applauded her. I would have said, listen, I applaud you for your decision to leave. It takes a lot of courage to leave, knowing that your life is getting ready to change and knowing that you're going to have to figure out a different dynamic. Like, I would have applauded her either way. But when someone is in a marriage and they say, I want to fight for my marriage, I think it's important for us to support them in their decision to fight for their marriage.
Even if
because
you don't
it's
agree.
A covenant that they made between their spouse and God. You know what I'm saying? Not only that, but you brought up the Bible. I also believe that God can redeem hard situations.
Oh, always. Absolutely.
Right? Like,
always.
regardless of how dark it is or how impossible it may seem to overcome it. And so the last thing that I want to do is tell somebody who's married, leave your husband, leave your wife. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't know if there's something that God is doing in the back end. I don't know if there's something that he's doing in that man's heart. You know what I'm saying? Where he has deep remorse and there's a testimony that'll come out of it. I don't know if there's something that he's doing in her heart there are times in the Bible where there were some crazy stories. I remember God told a prophet Hosea to marry a harlot. Like this is what the Bible calls her, right? A harlot. I'm not saying, but I mean, you know, we would call her a hoe today,
Yeah.
but you know what I'm saying? To show what God's love is for His people, Israel, right? Considering them to be His bride, Christ's bride. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like it's easy to look from the outside in and say, this is what you should do. You should leave. You know what I'm saying? Forget him. Forget your marriage. Forget the family dynamic. You know what I'm saying? I actually think that it is more responsible to tell somebody to do what they feel is best in that situation.
For sure. For
You know what I'm saying? And so I try to be careful. You know what I'm saying?
No, for sure. And for the record, I would never tell somebody to straight up leave your husband.
But there were people though, and to your point, right? To your point, like that's not something that y'all would do.
Yeah.
I think I actually represented the minority on the stage.
You did.
Yeah.
You did.
Right? Because people were like, oh
girl,
no.
you gotta go.
And here's the thing, like they're justified, everybody's justified in feeling the way that they feel. I definitely represented the minority because I'm like, no, I'm not going to be the one to say leave your marriage if that's not what you feel in your heart you need to do right now. You know what I'm saying? That may be something that you feel down the line, but if you don't feel that that's where you need to be or need to do right now, then you have to get to that point if that's what you decide to do. You know what I'm saying? So wherever you are, I just want you to know that there's grace for whatever decision you decide to make.
Oh, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? And that to me is important. You know what I'm saying? Because if not, then she'll feel like she's silly for staying. But she may not be silly for staying, even though it seems that way from the outside looking in.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I have a question for the group. Why is, like, for example, like, because, you know, we're all Black here at the table, like, why is commitment, like, to me, it seems like it's really a struggle in this day and age of, like, dating. Like, why is that such a hard task? Because we have parents, right? And we saw them commit themselves to each other. Why is it so hard for us to do it? Like, it's a challenge in a sense.
Well, you know, for the parents and the grandparents that we saw do it, a lot of them did it and they were unhappy doing it. A lot of them did it. They were married for 30, 35 years, 40 years, sleeping in separate bedrooms, not having sex with each other. Everybody got something on the side going on. So I think that there's a different level of transparency today, like in terms of just information being made available, the deceitfulness of thinking that we have better options out there because we have more access to more people through social media. And you know, you got to think back in the day, your sphere of dating was your neighborhood or your job or where you went to school. Like it didn't really go beyond that. Now you could date somebody
across the world.
You could date somebody in Africa. I know them Africans be in y'all DMs too, right? Like, I would marry you. I would give you 5 cows as dowry, whatever the case may be, right? Right.
Okay.
So there's also
$2,000.
Y'all crazy. So there's also this idea that there are more options. In a sea of options, there's really decision paralysis. It's like, yo, I really don't have to commit, right? I can really explore different things. If somebody makes me mad, I can go and talk to 1,000 different people who, you know, may be a good fit. So I think that there are a bunch of different reasons for it, but I think the deceitfulness of thinking that we have like a ton of options, the level of transparency in terms of like information these days. It's a lot of people too don't feel like they want to take the risk to commit. You know what I'm saying? They rather have fun.
Cause like to that, what were you saying? I'm sorry.
No, because he said rather have fun, which I mean, for some people, yes, that is the case. But I do feel like it's just risky. Like commitment is just a risky thing nowadays, unfortunately. Like I think also having access to social media, we've been able to see different people's journeys, different people's answers. We've seen how people are getting cheated, like Rashida and Kirk, like we brought up earlier. Like we see how people are able to like DM a girl and then all of a sudden they're together. So I think just the publicity of seeing how like, seeing how people are done, it does put a sense of fear in like some people's hearts. I know it's placed a little bit of fear in my heart. You know what I mean? Just not because I feel like all men are going to do you so and so and so. However, I just feel like it's risky. But and then on top of that, like with commitment, unfortunately, I do feel like you lose a little bit, a part of yourself. And it's not like you can find that part. You can absolutely find that piece back. But I just feel like with commitment, you're just losing different parts of yourself. I don't know. And it doesn't have to be like that, but that's just how it is. Like, you're going to have to make sacrifices. You're going to have to do things you don't want to do. You're going to have to, like, so I just feel like you're going to have to think it's two and not one, which is, again, you're losing your independence. Like, as a woman, you're losing your full independence, like, when it comes to commitment. And again, you can still, there's ways that you can carry that out, but I think that we've seen less examples than more, if that makes sense.
So I think for me, I think the only reason why, I think the main reason why people are having issues with commitment is due to the fact that we're opening ourselves up to too many connections with too many different people.
Right.
Ultimately having sex with too many different people. And that's just me being completely honest. It's like, so think about it like this. If you were a virgin and you went into marriage and you lost your virginity in marriage, you would never know anything else other than that sexual connection that you have with that person. And you would probably think that this is what sex is supposed to be like. It's the best, like that would be the best thing that you had. Whereas, let's say you go into a relationship with somebody and you've had 25 different sex partners. And you now have this connection with somebody and they're like one of the greatest, like in every other aspect but sex. But now you're willing to leave that person because you know what else you can gain from sex, you know? So I feel like that shapes a lot of our commitment issues, is like the sexual drive to want better.
I would say with that, because I understand what you're saying, I would say that men and women are afraid to be vulnerable with one another. Like, we're not comfortable creating a safe space to be vulnerable, to talk about certain things that are bothering us. Like, I know people, y'all probably dated people where, like, sometimes, like, it's kind of hard to have a hard conversation. Like, and to me, those are kind of the easiest, because it's like, you know exactly what you need to talk about. Let's talk about it. But some people, they struggle with, like, being so open about what's going on. Like, it's like it's okay a stain that I don't want to talk about, but it's like, we're together. We should be able to have these conversations, you know? So that's where I think, like, some of the issue is.
Yeah, which,
you know?
I think that's part of what I was saying. A part of it comes from hyper-independency. Like, being on your own for so long, when it's really time to merge lifestyle, it becomes scary.
It's
like,
hard.
because it's like, everybody's like, okay, yeah, we could talk finance until you get in front of a financial advisor and you're
and it's
actually
like,
breaking down your individual finances and his individual finances. And so you actually get in front of a therapist, you're breaking down his trauma and your trauma. Like, I think, again, that sense of like, oh, I've been by myself for, technically because you haven't been married, like I've been by myself for 30 however many years, and then all of a sudden we have to merge lifestyles. It's just like, wait, what? Like, what does that actually look like? Like, how does that actually feel? And I think it becomes a very scary thought process.
I also think that a lot of people don't see the benefit in commitment anymore. Right? Like, okay, like I'm gonna give up my independence for the sake of a whole, and that person might cheat on me. That person, you know what I'm saying, may not be a good provider, or may not be a great nurturer, or whatever the case may be. And so I think for a lot of people, they see it as being deeply risky. And for that reason, they don't desire to do it. We have this idea that we want to do it, but in all actuality, in practice, we don't want to make the sacrifice. You know what I'm saying? Even when you think about what a sacrifice is giving up something of lesser value for something of greater value, right? Meaning I have to sacrifice in the short term to get something of long-term reward. I think, especially for women, a lot of women are looking at the options out here and they're saying, like, it's not worth the sacrifice. You know what I'm saying?
Especially whenever, I agree with you. I think especially whenever, as a woman, you're able to meet certain, like have certain accomplishments by yourself. You know, it's like you're kind of already like checking off boxes yourself. So to now go to look to somebody to try to check off other boxes and they may not even do that. I don't know. It's just,
or even like, let's take it down to like basic things. Like, for example, like some, like, you'll be dating someone, they don't even know to, like, when they come over, like, take your trash out, or like it's certain things that, like, when a man comes in your life, like, they're supposed to be doing it. Like, if they're not doing it, why am I even subjecting myself to this? Like, like you said, there's really no benefit. Like, you're not really making my life easier. You're low-key challenging in a sense.
But you think that's things that could be taught? Because I was having a conversation with somebody about things that I know, because I have, I grew up with both parents in the home, and I have brothers as well as I have sisters. And I feel like there are certain things that my parents, like, kind of, not saying groomed, but they kind of taught us to expect. That I realized that the only reason I had these expectations is because of how I was raised. Like, even growing up, I never took the trash. Like my dad would wake all my brothers up in the morning. They would all touch the trash. They would all take out the trash. But also on the second, my brother just did not wash dishes. Like when we were going out to, like, say I was going to travel, it could just be me. My dad would say, Michelle, when you're done, put your luggage by your door. And before I knew it, my luggage was always in the car. I assumed my brothers did it. But those are like little things that I know my brothers know to do. And I know, okay, I expect to do.
Yeah.
So I think that in relationship, I kind of expect, like, okay, if I'm in a relationship and a man's here, okay, bet I have a boyfriend. So like, I automatically, like, in my head, I don't have to take out trash, I have to do this. So if I'm dating somebody, he's not doing it, in my head, I'm like, no one taught. I'm like, first I'm thinking, are you choosing not to do it?
Right.
Or were you not taught to do it? Or like, are you against doing it?
Right.
You know what I mean? So I think those are three different things. So if it's a guy who's against doing it, then it's like, okay, maybe y'all go y'all separate ways. But there are some guys who maybe they weren't raised with father figures in the home.
Absolutely.
So no one really taught them to do it. And as a woman, you can try your hardest to raise a man, but there's only so much that a mom can really instill into it.
And so that's why I think, like, separately, y'all have to be doing your own personal growth, personal development. Like, I have guy friends that they didn't have a father figure, and they made sure they found a mentor. They read up on stuff to sharpen themselves as a man, that things that they didn't see growing up. So I just feel like that's individual work that you have to do as a person. Because I'm not gonna lie, like, as I get older, that whole notion of teaching someone, it's just leaving me quickly, because it's like, why are we, certain conversations, I'm like, why are we having it? Like, what's going on? Like, we're almost like, we're mid-30s, almost in mid-30s. Like, what are we doing? Like, what have you been doing? You know?
So if you were dating somebody, say he checked every box, but in his head, like, he walks by that, like, he'll take the trash out every now and then, but sometimes you can tell, like, he kind of expects that you to take it out too. Would that be like,
I would want to have a conversation about that.
You would have a conversation?
Absolutely. Okay. Absolutely. Because
so would it be like
I didn't grow up, but I'll be honest, I didn't grow up like, because like you said, I didn't grow up as me taking out the trash. Like, that's not, I'll be honest with you, when I see trash around, there's men around, guys, come on.
But I think it's a little. But I think it's a little unfair to fault someone for something they don't know or they weren't being taught. It's almost like, it's almost one of those things where whenever like a woman has a baby young and maybe she didn't have a great example of what it was to be a mom, and people automatically expect, well, that motherly instinct kicks in. That's not always right. That's not always the case. Actually, motherly instincts is taught, and that's what we don't realize. So I feel like it's just like Michelle said, it can easily be a conversation of like, hey, you know, whenever I have a significant other, I'm really used to them, you know, doing these things, like, because you like acts of service. So I'm used to them taking out the trash. I'm used to him opening my door. I'm used to him, whatever the case may be. So I feel like it could really be a simple conversation. Now, absolutely, if they say that I don't want to do that, I don't think that I should be doing that, now that's a different conversation.
But it's so crazy because I've heard a lot of stories, like, this is not my stories. I've heard a lot of stories that women are met with that. Oh, I'm not going to do that. Or why can't we both do that? It's like, you know, a lot, they're like we're saying
semantics.
True, but we're also in a climate where, like, we're doing a lot for ourselves, by ourselves. And it's like, this kind of conversation is becoming a lot now. Like, what am I going to do? Force you to, like, do, like, okay, I won't force you, but I won't be with you. Because, like, to me, it's like, now there are probably things that you would like for me to start doing. I'm making these changes, so why can't you compromise too? Like, it takes two to tango. Like, I can't be the only one, you know, doing the work, putting the effort in. Like, you don't want to do anything. You know, a lot of women are faced with that. And to me, I don't think that's fair that they now have to, to be with someone, they have to, like, I have to just settle for this because I need to be with someone. No, that's not fair.
Let me ask, what do you feel like, from a man's perspective, like, what do you feel like are some reasons, are common reasons that a man will kind of like avoid commitment from, again, a man's perspective? Because, again, you've heard all of us mention different things as to, like, why we may, like, slow down or, like, be hesitant. Like, but from a man's perspective, what do you feel like?
Combativeness. Why she?
There she go, right there.
Right. I just said one word. I said one word. She's like,
felt her side. I felt her side.
I feel like that we even have combativeness and women in the same sense is kind of crazy.
No, it's not.
Let him finish, please. Please, land.
I feel like he didn't say anybody.
He didn't say anything. He just said combativeness.
See, Nikki, there you go, being combative.
I think that's the problem right there. We don't know what someone means when they say it.
I said one word, and it blew the table up. It blew the table up.
I just feel like I know where this is going. I'm sorry.
I'm about to.
Wrong.
Yeah, let him land. Sorry.
Combativeness.
Okay. Exclamation point.
I would say, lack of intelligence, like it, emotional awareness, lack of emotional intelligence, a low moral compass.
Okay, you ate with that one.
Y'all are hilarious.
Because
these are all facts. These are all facts.
Low moral compass, and lack of integrity, different things like that.
Sorry.
I would also say, and this is just something that I hear from guys, like, and it's almost a double standard, right? Like there are certain things that they're cool with when they're dealing with a woman that's not theirs in terms of like appearance, versus when you're actually in a relationship with a woman. You know what I'm saying? Which I'm not saying is fair, but I'm just telling you the reasons why. Some men may disqualify a woman, right? That's one.
Wait,
but what an appearance,
makeup, and
different
preferences that different guys have in terms of presentation, right? It could be maybe he feels like she dresses too provocatively. I'm using this as an example, right? They're in a relationship, and when she outside with her friends, you know what I'm saying?
I've also heard like
chronically outside.
She looks single.
Makeup.
You feel what I'm saying? Being overly friendly with people of the opposite sex. Like these are all things that I've literally heard guys say, nah, like I'm off her.
Yeah.
I'm off her. Like,
fair though.
You know what I'm saying? So those are just some things that I can think of off the top of my head.
So let me paint a picture really quick, right? Because there's in a lot of situations, possibly actually when we're younger, men, you would have like the perfect woman, what society may deem the perfect woman. And even to you, let's say she's a perfect woman because you've been with her for like 2-3 years. But like, I think what I'm asking is like in the sense where she's that perfect woman, right? What would stop a man from actually committing? Because a lot of guys get that woman and they just stop right there. You know what I mean? And a lot of guys, like, they get like she's the woman of your dreams, but you can't propose to her. Like she's a girlfriend for 5, 6, 7 years because it's like, and so.
Yeah, I think that there are a lot of men. I think that there are a lot of men that see women as being their ideal type, or she's wifey. I'm gonna commit to her one day, but they're not finished playing. They're not ready to really commit, right? Because they feel like they will be giving up the life that they have, the autonomy that they have now, if I commit to this woman who I know is ready right now, but I'm not ready right now. Like I still want to play, but I don't want her to go anywhere. You know what I'm saying? So I'll just go far enough to keep her in pocket, but you know what I'm saying? And nobody else has her, but not far enough to actually commit long term.
What do we call those men?
Losers. Just kidding.
I don't know. What do y'all call
the crazy part is that I feel like, in a sense, okay, don't get me wrong, like the man is not completely right, but I would rather him do that than get into a marriage and end up, like we said, having that 7-year affair.
Yeah.
I feel like that's where a woman needs to step in and like say what her boundaries are. If you're not going to be a girlfriend for 5, 6 years, then don't do it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like after a while, like you have to start standing up for yourself.
Absolutely.
And you have to leave. If you know that your ultimate goal is, hey, I want to be married, I want to be someone's wife, I want to be someone's mother in a marriage, then leave.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
I agree.
But also, I don't want to sound like I'm being hypocritical because I was going to say this earlier too. I do think it's important that if you're going to leave, it's because you want to, not because you're like falling guilty to like societal standards, not because you're getting pressure from like outside people. Because I think a lot of times people in relationships.
Why'd
you say you don't want it to be you don't want to
hypocritical? Because I was going to say this earlier, but I know. Because, I mean, you did make a good point when you said at the end of the 7-year thing. Because it is important. I think a lot of people, even in that situation, would leave not because they truly want to leave, just because, I mean,
people are
because of how it looks.
Yeah.
Like, think about it. If you're facing like 5 people and one person's telling you like, oh, I applaud you for staying, and 4 people are telling you get the hell out of Dodge, like, you're more likely going to say, okay, maybe I do look stupid. Maybe I should leave because I look stupid. I think a lot of people in that situation too, like if you're like a forever girlfriend, you may actually want to stay in that situation. You may actually love like where you're at in life. You may not even want marriage all the way. You may not even have thought that out. But in that situation, you have everyone looking at you saying like, leave this man, and you leave him, and then you're not happy. And what's to say 5 years down the line, that man doesn't get married. Will you truly like the life that you chose for yourself? Did you even choose it for yourself? Or did you let someone else choose for you? So I do think it's important that if you're going to leave, you have to make the decision to leave for yourself. Not because your friends told you leave that man, give him an ultimatum, just because you truly made that decision. You know?
Do y'all think ultimatums work?
I do, actually.
Yes.
Yeah. They do. I think we need to do more. They do.
Yeah.
That's propaganda I'm following.
I don't know. Has it worked on you before? An ultimatum?
Or has anyone ever given you an ultimatum?
Yeah, people have given me ultimatums before.
So it didn't work.
This is what I can tell you about ultimatum. The ultimatum is only as strong as how you feel about that person.
Oh, like the person getting the ultimatum or the person giving it?
The person getting the ultimatum.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It's only as strong as how you feel about that person.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll give you an example. Okay, let's say that I'm talking to somebody, and I could take it or leave it. It's not really a big deal. And she's just like, "Yo, you gotta make a decision right now." Like that ultimatum has no weight at all.
You ain't never stood on nothing before. Now all of a sudden you trying to stand on.
That's a wet piece of paper. Like that has no weight. But if it's somebody that I really deeply care for, right? Like I can actually see myself being with this person, but I'm playing around, and they give an ultimatum. Okay, that ultimatum may have a little bit more weight, but it's because the way I feel about her has weight. So before people go out here, feeling courageous enough to give ultimatums, you gotta make sure that you know how that person feels about you for real.
Like if I have to give an ultimatum, that's my answer. You know what I mean? Because if I have to tell you like, hey, either you're gonna get serious about me or I'm gonna leave.
So the only reason why I disagree is like sometimes you can get so caught up in everyday life that you don't make things that should be a priority. And that's just like, even in general with like, every day people are like, I'm gonna eat healthier. Yeah. Well, then they're busy and they're doing this, they're doing that. And sometimes they don't eat healthy until finally they go to the doctor and the doctor is like, hey, you're knocking on diabetes door or you're knocking on high blood pressure's door. Then that's kind of that ultimatum of like, okay, either I end up being diabetic or end up with hypertension or I fix it.
But my thing is, if the ultimatum is priorities, cool. But if my ultimatum is choose me, love me, no. Like,
but you're not saying to choose you and love you. You're saying to commit to you.
That is what that means.
Yeah. But I don't think it's always that black and white.
I don't think that's necessarily about love. I think that sometimes people need a little bit of a nudge. Like, listen, we've been doing this for this amount of time. I love you. I know you love me, but this is something that I desire in my life. If you can't give it to me, then I'm going to find somebody that can. If that man feels a way about you, like he really cuts for you, he doesn't want anybody else to have you. You know what I'm saying? He's going to want you. And so sometimes that's a nudge for him to make some of the adjustments that he needs to make.
And I don't agree because again, like if I have to nudge you to make, we've been together for 4 years, right? Mm. And you mean to tell me not one time you've thought like, oh, you know what? I actually want to marry this girl, and how do I make that happen? Not one time you've thought that, like it took a nudge for you to get there. I don't know. Like, I just feel like, again, like, okay, so were you ever going to marry her? You know what I mean? Like, I just feel like you have to already have that conversation with yourself. Mm-hmm. Like, okay, I'm ready to become a husband, to even like go through this thought process of like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's just like.
What if it's something that he felt he was going to do like down the line? Like maybe he felt like he wanted to get some other things in order in his life before he actually made that commitment. And the woman is like, you know what? Like, this is something that I want like sooner than later. You know what I'm saying? And so he's like, okay, like I was going to do it down the line, but I actually don't want to lose you. I'm going to do it now. I don't think it always indicates love or lack thereof. I think that sometimes people get in their own head or they get in their own way. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And I could tell you from a man's perspective, a lot of times for men do want to have certain things in order before they actually make a deep-seated commitment. I was going to ask about that too. Right? Yeah. Like they want to do that. So, you know, and then there are cases where the person doesn't love them. Like I'm not disregarding that as well. I'm just saying that I don't think in every case it's a lack of love. I think that sometimes it could be a lack of being exactly where they want to be in life before they make such a significant commitment.
Yeah. So I was gonna ask, like, how do you feel like, because you made that comment about, you know, men's trying to get certain things in order, like how do you feel like a career goal may impact like your willingness to be ready or your willingness to commit?
I think for a lot of men, it's a big deal.
Yeah.
Right? Because no man wants to get into a committed relationship and feel inadequate in his career or in his ability to earn or whatever the case may be. So I think that is a big reason for a lot of men feeling like they're not ready for the relationship. Because they understand that once they get into a committed relationship, like that woman becomes his financial responsibility. Sometimes men will put that off as long as they can to get their finances or their career in order before they make that. And
I feel like tables are starting to shift now to where like women are also putting that as a priority before they dive into
Yeah.
commitment. I feel like as women, we already know that whenever you finally commit to somebody, that now means not only being a wife, but like
Being a mother.
being a mother. And so a lot of the times what ends up happening is, not a lot, but maybe I think a majority of the time that ends up happening is you're having to choose your family, your husband over your career. So a lot of women are now like saying like, hey, you know what? Let me wait on marriage. Let me wait on children until I am able to, you know, accomplish what I want to accomplish career-wise. So I feel like we're starting to see that dynamic happen a lot. And then that now turns into women looking like we're hyper independent whenever we're just trying to do what y'all are trying to do.
Yeah, that's fair.
And I also feel like men starting to use that as a crutch because it's like, I don't know. I do agree. Like you said, there's times where it's like I actually really knowing that I'm responsible for, or somebody else is my responsibility, right? I would love to get like my finances and my career in order. But it's also not a linear thing. Like finding a perfect career, finding something that's lucrative, finding something that's worth it in this economy. It's just not a linear path. And so, not all the time. And so I think that a lot of times like men are just trying to figure out like, okay, like this perfect, like, okay, yeah, I'm going to do this at this age. I'm going to start making this kind of money. And it's like, that's just not how it is. But you have a woman who's willing to wait just a little bit, but it's like you keep prolonging it because it's like you're trying to become this perfect man or have this perfect career. And that's never going to happen.
But what happens when he gets into a relationship and she calls him a brokey? now his ego is shot. So the last thing that he wants, I think too for a lot of men, they understand that in a relationship there's a different level of financial transparency, right? And so you can play this role for as long as you can without being in that committed relationship, because nobody's really checking for your money like that. It's just whatever you seem like you have, right? But when you in that committed relationship and she says, "Yo, I want to
run your pockets.
Yo, I want to go to Jamaica," and you like, "Yo, I ain't got it."
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? So I think that's a part of it as well, because y'all will drag a man if he's in a relationship with y'all and he can't provide for real.
So do you feel like finances would stop you from committing to somebody?
Yes.
You see what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Y'all will drag.
It would.
Let's keep it a bean.
Simply because, like you said, Nikki, there's people who like, there's women who have amazing careers. There's women who like, and at this point, like, I feel like women in their 30s are either in your career or you have a job that makes a certain amount of money, at least enough to keep you comfortable and enough to support your hobbies, enough to support your shopping, your makeup habits. You know what I mean? Like enough to keep you afloat. And so I feel like, why would anybody put themselves in a predicament that you're going to receive less than that?
Dial it back.
You have to now dial it back, or you have to now consider, certain things.
That's not fun.
Yeah, it's absolutely not fun. And then imagine when kids come in, bro, in this economy.
Oh my
bro,
gosh,
let's be
that sounds
so
like,
for real, bro. And let's not talk about one kid. Let's talk about two kids. Let's
Like
talk about
4.
3 kids. You know what I mean? In this economy, like I think I'm not signing up respectfully to struggle. I just can't do that. And like again, I do understand that in this economy, you have to pick and choose your battles, but like, I'm not going to sign myself up for a lifetime of struggle. Like, I mean, and if that makes me the villain,
I don't care.
I mean, yeah, I kind of don't.
Cause like, who wants to like, cause like it's one thing struggling by yourself, but then struggling with people that are depending on you.
Or struggling with a man. Like no woman wants to struggle with a man.
And you imagine
it's
struggling with a man.
But
Like,
of coming upon a hard time. There's a big difference.
Right.
It's like, okay, we're doing okay, and like, you may lose your job, maybe you get injured, and you're not able to work and provide as much. Because at the end of the day, I know, like, morally, like, foundationally, I have a hardworking man.
Right.
Okay,
Right.
that's different.
Right.
But like somebody who is not financially stable, they're not making financially sound decisions prior to me.
Yeah.
I'm not marrying you.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Like every weekend you're spending
Like,
X amount of money on.
So would you
XYZ.
would date them, but you just want to marry them?
I don't even. I mean,
Like there's one like habit a man has. I can't really get with you. Gambling. I'm not attracted to men who gamble. I think that's a very bad habit, because I feel like there's a way to gamble here and there, but there are people that gamble like with everything.
Yeah.
It's not just
And I've met a
sports.
couple of
It's like
people.
everything. It's like, oh,
But
no,
stocks
no.
is gambling.
Huh?
Stocks is gambling.
I don't do stocks. So I don't
mean,
gamble. Bingo's gambling too. Anyway,
it's a different sort
that's a
of
little bit
gambling.
different.
You're
No,
not
but
gambling all your money away. I mean,
But no,
Stocks
but-
is gambling,
but
but I think it's
it's all
strategic.
gambling.
Low-key.
Let me tell you what's a
Minding my
gamble.
point.
Let me tell you what's a gamble. A gamble is sitting all your money in a checking or savings account. That's a gamble.
Oh, I mean, yeah.
Absolutely.
Like you make no return on your money at all.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So.
But it's like, what if you don't need the return?
gamble,
What if you don't
though?
need
That's
a return on your money? Like what? I think that
Not
it's
everybody
actually-
used to be like a investment tycoon.
I think it's actually okay for someone to make their paycheck and it covers everything that they need in their life and they can live like that. I don't think that it always has to be, oh, you're not making sound investments with your money. You know, the checking company, they're just taking money from you. Whatever the case may be, it's like, let that person live. Like, not everyone is looking for, and that's another thing. It's like, when we talked about people are always looking for the next best thing, not everyone's always looking for that next paycheck. Some people are just content.
I feel that.
I agree.
I definitely think that everybody has the right to make their own financial decisions. I think the more we educate ourselves around how money works, though, I think the better, right? Because even when you let money sit, it's actually decreasing in value year over year because of, inflation. So you may be losing 15% on your money year over year if you just save your money, So I think that there are philosophies around money that says, okay, put it in a mixed bag of stocks, right? That is going to increase year over year, even if it's 10, 20% a year. Where at least you're growing your money and you're not losing money. So, but listen, at the end of the day, right? Everybody has the right to do with their money, what they want to do with it.
I think it's,
but it's just another one is real estate, right? Like you park your money in real estate. It's another way of burying your money in the ground, but it's appreciating. You know what I'm saying? Like your money is growing as inflation goes up, as the value of real estate.
A lot of people are upside down in their houses right now.
Yeah, but it won't be 10 years from now.
Can they survive the next 10 years?
You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think
that's what I'm
ask
saying.
these
Like,
questions.
you gotta start to
Yeah.
ask. People. I think that people try to
glamorize.
Yes, they try to glamorize this
Home ownership.
investment,
But they don't
real
talk about
estate.
the 10 years.
But they don't talk about
between
what
them.
it actually takes to be
Yeah.
able to survive it.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, you're right. They probably can see investments in 10 years, but can they pay a mortgage for the next 10 years?
Yeah.
That's what they
For
talk
sure.
about.
Like,
Like house
survive.
pools, stock
Yeah.
Like first and foremost, before you invest though, you got to stabilize your own personal income, right? Like, and your own personal expenses. Like, you got to stabilize that. So I wouldn't advise for anybody to invest money if you can't pay your bills, right? First and foremost, you got to be able to live, eat, and work, or whatever the case may be. I think investing is more so for people who have the
means,
the bandwidth to do it.
the access to do it. And the thing about it is, I mean, when you look at what people spend on Starbucks, most people have money to invest. You know what I'm saying?
Damn, if someone just wants coffee.
I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm with
You know what I'm
you.
saying?
Remember that meme when it was like, if you didn't get Starbucks every morning, you'd be able to get an LLC? Y'all remember those memes?
That's real life.
I feel that though.
My final question is like, okay, the dating apps. How can we make them better? Because I feel like, only reason why I'm saying that because I've been seeing more people like now they're rejoining it again. They're like, I'm about to give it another third try. And it's like, how can we make dating apps actually like functional? I feel like these days, like people get on dating apps and like, to me, it's IG 2.0. Like we're just surfing people's pictures, looking what they like to do and just having miniature conversation and it goes nowhere. How do we make that better?
I actually don't think that we should.
Yeah.
I think that we need to do a better job of meeting people in person.
In person?
Yeah.
So go back to the basics.
Yo, like, I think that in some ways, social media has made us socially awkward.
Definitely.
You know what I'm saying? Absolutely. And so, people talking, big stuff on IG and
you meet them in person,
and it's just like, yo, you so awkward.
God,
you can't even. You feel what I'm saying?
So I think crazy.
I think we have enough avenues to meet people online and to engage online. I think that we need to bring back the art of actually like. Men need to develop the courage to actually walk up to a woman.
Art of game.
Again,
build your game up.
Like there are so many men that don't know how to speak to a woman.
Nope.
Like they're out of practice. So they're used to having Twitter fingers, but like in person, they couldn't walk up to a woman and like win her over at all because they've done none of that work. They haven't developed that muscle to be able to do that. So I actually think that we should reverse that.
Which is so sorry. I hate to bring this into the picture.
I've been wanting to talk about men's game, how it's
even watching like Love Island, right? And how like just you have to think you're trying to spit game to everybody that's in there to find a connection. And like the conversations are getting more difficult and difficult. Obviously, we're getting older and the groups are getting younger. So it's like, obviously this is Gen Z that's in Love Island season 7, I think, season 7. And it's just like, I don't know if they know how to talk to each other. Like Huda, I feel like she's having a hard time navigating actually trying to like
talk to people
because it's like you can tell she's used to social media and used to people being like, oh, you're so pretty, and used to people being obsessed with her. But it's like, okay, but when you actually get in person and you have these, you're finding it difficult to have conversations with people because you're not used to it. And so, I
know I've definitely like seen that. It's because like I've met someone like, have you ever like decided against your better judgment to go out with somebody that slid into your DMs and you're like,
I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Public place, well lit. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, public place, well lit. Yeah, it sounds nice until you actually like. That's a really awkward,
especially if the conversation's not flowing.
Like it's a very awkward situation to begin with because literally this is a stranger.
Y'all should probably FaceTime a few times. You know what I'm saying? Get that
like,
level.
Sometimes it's like some people move fast, so it's like, hey, you're in the DMs. Next thing you know, like, hey, let's do brunch the next day.
No, yeah.
So it happens.
I feel that I actually like.
It happens.
Let's speed
but
this up.
That's cool. Imagine the first conversation.
The first conversation, it's odd.
But you know what? I actually rather that because I hate the opposite where we're texting for a week.
Yes.
At this point,
I need to see you in person.
Yeah.
So
but
like, I'm not going to text you for
with the communication because it shouldn't just be texting, like phone calls. You said FaceTime.
Yeah.
You're building up that comfortability,
that rapport.
So when we go out, like. It's like we know each other because
I think FaceTime's
that
should go.
But what I'm saying is like, but it's a level. It's a concept of communication. Like we can FaceTime now, so if you can't talk, I'll FaceTime you. But it's like
FaceTime
you're building up your comfortability level with that person. So it's like when we go out, conversations flowing. Because I'm not gonna lie, I've went out with someone I met, and it's like. It is, oh my gosh, like I'm a very personal person. I can have a conversation with anybody. Talking is nothing for me. But talking to someone that can't hold a conversation is challenging. It's like, I need to shut up.
It's almost like
shut
pulling
up. Like, this is a lot. Like, I feel like I'm like forcing you out of your comfort zone. I can feel you're uncomfortable, but I don't even know how to tell you, like, hey, let's just chop it up. Like,
but you would rather get that out the way early.
It's not
to
that.
Me, it's like,
just,
I hate talking to people for so long, and it's just like, dang, are we ever going to link? And then by the time we do link, it's just like, now we have to text for another 3 weeks before we link again.
No,
I'd rather just link immediately, and then I can see if I click with you or not, because I don't want to spend my time texting and calling somebody who I'm never going to see in person.
True, but no, it's not. See, that we're drifting away from what we were talking about. We're talking about people like that can't even like, they don't have game or conversation skills anymore. Like social media is kind of like erasing that out of people. Like some people don't know how to sit and be like with you and I and just have a conversation. Some people don't know how to do that. It's a challenge. You brought up Huda. I wholeheartedly agree with you. She can't talk to nobody. Like she's awkward. And then we're seeing it on camera too. Like she's socially awkward and doesn't know that. But like to me, that's everybody now. Yeah. And I think also that plays a role in with dating. You have to communicate. If we can't do that well, like where are we going?
Yeah. But I also think that just takes practice sometimes. To be honest, like the only way to being socially awkward is to socialize.
But some people don't know how to do. See, that's the thing. Some people don't even know how to like try to do that. Where to start? They're just like stuck. Like that's why when you go to some parties, people just sitting around. Because they don't even know how to like walk up to people and be like, hey, Nikki, how are you doing? Like, you look great. Like, they don't even know how to do that.
So let me ask the last question. Do you feel like you've missed out on anybody because of fear?
No.
Like, for instance, not even so much of fear, but say like you were dating somebody and you know, like, maybe you cut them off too early. And back then you had a valid reason. But looking back, you're just like, no, the real reason is probably I wasn't ready for commitment. Maybe like they were moving too fast. And it scared me at the time. I thought they were moving too fast. But maybe I was just moving slow. And I can realize that now looking back, this person was probably really good for me.
I feel like a lot of women have definitely been like, oh, I know he's ready to get married. Like it probably went in our earlier 20s.
Yeah.
But the whole time he's just intentional.
Yeah. Same thing with guys. I feel like a lot of times the guys come across a good woman, it's like, oh, no, she's serious. I can't even, you know what I mean? She's trying to have kids in the next year or two. Like, you got to leave her alone.
A lot. They're like, your kind of conversation you're having is just too serious for me.
Yeah.
It's like, talk to me like where you see yourself at in 5 years.
The fear of commitment.
Yeah.
Stemmed from, I do.
Yeah. I think that sometimes too, when you're just getting to know somebody, you don't even know whether or not they're your person yet.
Yeah.
And somebody out the gate is like, yeah, so I want to have a baby next year.
Yeah,
it's just like,
oh my
I
gosh,
don't even know if I like you.
Sharing goals.
Yeah.
Date
Like,
one?
can we make sure that we actually like each other first?
Align
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think that sometimes people can be so eager to be in a relationship that they rush conversations that maybe they should. They shouldn't rush. You know what I'm saying? It's my thought.
Talking about
I think I
kids out the
definitely
gate is
agree.
wild.
The only reason why I would say no, I don't feel like I missed out on anybody out of a lack of fear is because they probably still weren't my person.
Right.
Like the fact that they still were coming on so strong, knowing that that's probably not the type of person that I would really want to be with in the first place, it just means that that person wasn't meant for me.
Yeah,
you know?
and I have to agree with Nikki there. Like everything happens for a reason. I feel like if it just didn't happen, it just didn't happen. Like it's not a negative for me, not a negative for them. We just didn't work out. No one, I wasn't scared or nothing. It's just we didn't work out. So I don't feel like I missed out on anything. Like if anything, that was just a lesson learned, and you grow from it and move on. You know, so
I'm a firm believer in not only the right person, but the right time.
timing is everything.
Like it absolutely has to be the right time. Like it can be a great person, y'all can be meant for each other, but if y'all are not in the right timing for each other, you won't even know that it's the right person.
Now, see, if we ask the question in that way, then I can then say, you know what? I have probably like missed out on a relationship because the timing wasn't correct. We were in two different places. I was still playing. They were ready to settle.
Do you have regrets when it comes to that?
No.
So there's nobody.
They would have taken me out the field if they were really serious.
Yeah. Okay, but you said you were
No, like, if, you know what I'm saying? You got to force that play out of my mind. Like,
ultimatum.
They never gave it, so
What you're talking about?
they never gave it. You know what I'm talking about. They never gave it, so that's on them, not me.
Okay, so if a guy gave you an ultimatum, like I'd wife you out right now, but you have to not get out the streets because that's like the implication.
I'll leave the streets right now.
No,
Pull up the car. I'm out.
no, but he was like really strict.
I'm
Like,
not
you
in the
know, I
streets,
just
but
feel
you
like
know.
maybe like you have to cut out like your weekend activities to a minimum. Like I like a girl who be in the house.
Okay, can we talk about that? Like, y'all, I know, like, you're gonna naturally dial it back because I speak myself, I've dialed it back, but sometimes that just sounds like I have to like cancel some parts of myself out to be with you. I feel like if this is your person, because I see a lot of people in relationships, like, it's like, dang, like, y'all match each other. Like, he enjoys what you do. He likes, like, he supports everything about you. I feel like those men that want to be like, oh, you got to cut this out. It's like, you're low-key trying to form me into like what you want.
Is
and
he?
you're not accepting me for who I am.
But what if he just sees more potential in you?
It does. But the thing is, if what I'm doing is not taken away from my success, what are you talking about?
But it's not adding to your success either.
But what do you, like, for me, you're telling me I have to, like, from what Michelle said, oh, you have to slow down your weekend activities. So what if my
going out?
But like, what if it's not just going out? What if
I
it's
think she
other
specifically
things?
said going
But
out.
I think
But
that that's also a way of like kind of dimming that person.
Yeah, like-
you're dimming that person's light. It's not like, so you're now telling this person like, hey, I want you to go from being a social person on the weekends to now staying in the house.
Yeah.
How is
Hold
that?
on.
But how is
That's
that
not-
benefiting that
That's
person?
not what he said.
That's not what
That's
he
not what he
said. He
said.
said dial it back a
That's
little
not what he
bit.
said.
He said, I like a person that is inside the house.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
exactly what he said.
Oh, no,
I don't know why we're
Well,
trying to be
I
right
took
what
it-
he said.
I
No,
took it.
listen.
Go ahead, go ahead.
If a man says, "Listen, I'm ready to wife you right now," but you be outside every weekend, you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that you shouldn't go outside, right? But I'm saying like when we're in a relationship, I would like for you to go outside less. Maybe you go outside four weekends out the month. Maybe you go out 2, and then the other 2 we're inside doing things together because I really value my woman like being
Right.
at home with me.
And,
Right.
See, I understand that, but this is where now I'm gonna have to challenge that a little bit. So like, of course, yes, you're gonna slow down going out. Okay, so are we planning dates? Are we having outings? Or you just want me to be inside and look at you in your face? Like that's how what I see, because it's like there are some men that will ask it of you, and like there's nothing that they're kind of taking that time up with. It's like, so if you're not planning activities for us to like bond and get closer, I feel like you're trying, like, I'm gonna be honest with you, people are gonna kill me here when I say this. I just feel like you're trying to control the woman. Like, because to me it's like, okay, she's slowing down, but then in place of what?
No, the
To
thing
be wifed up?
I agree, and I'm not. I mean, there are some guys that have you cancel plans with your
Yeah.
friends and have nothing.
And have nothing
plan.
lined up.
But
Just like, so we're inside?
what if the thing is y'all being inside together
Sir.
on the weekend?
Nate,
couple weekends out the month?
Oh, that is
listen
a thing?
to me. Like, it's
Being
okay.
inside
It's
together?
okay. It's okay.
I'm
No,
sorry,
no,
y'all.
it's okay. Like, I agree with you there, but It's like, so
What?
I'm dialing
Y'all
it
are
back in.
so dramatic, Michelle.
But you can't, hold on, what's going on here? But you like, my thing is like, okay, like I said, you're asking her to dial it back. So like, do you have like activities you want her to go to, events you want her to attend, what am I really doing that you want me, like what time am I giving you that what are we doing?
No, what if he wants to be inside with you
See,
a couple weekends out the month?
Aren't we inside on the weekdays? I don't understand why I have to be
On the weekdays.
This is my thing.
She said I'm inside on the weekdays. Y'all can't go out to eat. Y'all can't go out to eat on the
What
weekdays
is so
too.
special about the weekends that you want me to give to you every weekend? Like it's just
What's so
like,
special about being outside that you have to be outside every weekend?
Well, okay. See, now we have to understand what we talking about when we say outside. Because when I say I'm outside, it does not necessarily mean the club. I be doing things.
No. Nobody said
You,
club.
I'm just
Okay,
saying
okay.
women in general.
Got you.
Like, 'cause I feel like we've like now outside has a negative connotation sometimes. You know what I'm saying? So some people when they're outside, they just like to like go out to activities, brunch with their friends. To me, when a man says that, it's like, to me, I'm not gonna lie, that's what I hear. You be around your friends too much. That's what I hear. That's what I hear, and that's what I mean.
Maybe for some men, maybe for some men. But what if he wants to just spend some weekends with his girl without her being outside with
That's
her
not bad
friend?
either. I'm not saying that, but it's just like,
I understand that, but I
In the
think that
house.
you should also know who you're dating from the beginning.
that part.
So if you met this girl and she was a very social person, you know she knows a lot of people, she kind of like, she has events every weekend, and you still decided to continue to move forward with her and get into a relationship with her. I think it's like I've used this word today a lot, unfair. I think it's unfair to now say like, hey, this is how I met you, but I don't want you to be like that anymore because you're in a relationship with me now.
Yeah,
I don't think that makes any sense. I think that it's one of those things where like you have to know who you're dating. So if you decided to get into a relationship with her, then unfortunately that's a lack of your judgment to jump into a relationship with someone if her outsideness was going to make you uncomfortable.
Let's put the shoe. Let's put the shoe on the other foot for a second.
Okay.
Let's say you're dating a guy. Obviously, when you met the guy, you met him single. He was single when you met him, so he was doing a lot of single guy activities. He was outside at the club with his guys every weekend. You know what I'm saying? These friends, they probably went on missions and stuff like that together. You know what I'm saying?
What kind of missions are we talking?
Vacations out. Side quest.
Military missions?
Nah, I don't think it's military missions. You know what I'm saying? Some things might have been killed, but
it wasn't people.
you know what I'm saying? He likes to go on vacation with his boys, Colombia. You know what I'm saying?
DR.
Just different DR, different things like that, right?
I know who you are.
He's single, not me. Not me.
Not you.
Okay,
No.
okay, yeah, not me.
Anytime a man tells me,
We know your kind.
I know who you are.
But you know, but let's be real. Jamaica is to women what Colombia is to men.
And y'all say this every time.
Yeah, and I don't
where did y'all
understand
get
who told
this
y'all
from?
that. How did y'all get there?
What?
How did y'all get
Huh?
there?
The women that
let's-
are going to
let's-
Jamaica and getting them limestone massages and
No,
getting
what?
happy
Yo,
endings?
yo,
We're talking about they
yes.
go there to fuck.
No, because women are.
They
It's
are.
been a
To
thing.
Jamaica to get
Yes.
It's been a thing.
Yeah, some of those men are taking
Guys,
them
can I say something?
to the woods.
This is my first time hearing.
No, they are.
Like,
They are.
this is my first time hearing. I've
Oh,
never.
no,
I've
there's-
heard it.
This is real life.
There's a girl on TikTok who
I've heard the DR
who she
stuff
said that
with
she went
Jamaica.
and she did. She said she went and got a massage and she was like, it's so funny because it's now a running joke to like bring a paper bag with you so you can use it as a condom. Or like bring a Ziploc bag. Yeah, because like they will take you off
we
to the
doing?
woods and you'll have sex
Yo,
with them.
I'm telling you. So my whole thing is back to what I was saying real quick. What I'm saying is
I feel like I'm not. Am I living a different
Letting
life?
them take them
With
off
the
to the
Ziploc,
woods.
Plenty of
into
people.
your vagina.
While
Plenty
they're
of
getting
women.
rubbed on in their
Jamaica is to women what Colombia and DR is to men.
It is. It is.
All right. So anytime women be like, "Yo, we taking the girls trip to Jamaica," I'll be like, "Ah, man." Not saying that every woman does that, but I just
But it
be
still
like,
raises
it's the
the same
same thing,
flag,
right?
yeah.
Good God, y'all.
So let's say that he's outside with his guys. You met him single. He's outside with his guys every weekend. Y'all get into a relationship. He's still going out every weekend. He's still going out every weekend or whatever the case may be. You know what I'm saying? Same group of friends, same guys. You know what I'm saying? And then, you know, y'all get to a situation where y'all really taking y'all relationship serious. Y'all thinking about taking it to the next level. And you say, listen, I'm not saying don't go out with your boys. I'm not saying that. But I'm saying, can we dial it back a little bit and kind of like focus on our relationship? Can we focus on having a little bit more time together at home? You go out every weekend. Y'all be, you know what I'm saying? Y'all go out Friday, Saturday, and Sunday every weekend. Yo, do that 2 weekends, and then 2 weekends, let's do some stuff together. Or let's be in the house. Let's spend some time together. You know what I'm saying? Y'all feel like that would be an unreasonable request?
I don't.
It's a delivery. That's
That's how women talk. Men don't.
I'm not gonna lie to you.
Like that. It's a demand, and either you're with it or you're not.
Let's
they don't talk sweet like that. But I say yes to that. Like, yeah, okay, I'm in the house. I'm
But
in
my
the house
thing
forever.
is, I mean, I don't know. Just for conversation purposes,
Yeah.
why would y'all feel like a man asking from that is immediately met with defense? Like, and I think because the way he said it was very like that's. I'm not gonna lie. When he said it, that's how I expected every. You know what I mean? And every.
It's delivery.
But that's
Michelle
how
just hit
I
that on the
expected
nail.
every like conversation to. If you're requesting out of me, if we're already in a relationship, I'm assuming the man is.
Yeah.
You can deliver messages to me. I'm not going to take it with combat and be like, okay, why am I in the house? Because
I'm not. No one said anybody's being combative. I'm just saying that. Like that word is the word of this episode today. No one's being combative. What I said is that because I'm coming from experience with how I'm talking, is that men will say that, and it's because they're trying to basically like control your movements. At the end of the day, I agree wholeheartedly with what Nikki said. I use myself as an example. I grew up in this city. I'm very sociable. People, I know a lot of people know me. I can't change that. And you have to either accept it or you can't. But you cannot accept it and now come with conditions. I'll accept this, but I don't want you at events like that anymore because we need to work on this. But it's like, okay, but then I do that and no
but that's
dates,
what I'm saying.
no activities.
But I think you have
what are we doing
hold
actually?
on one second.
You know
That's what I'm saying. But because of your previous experience, right? You're saying that you're automatically thinking that like men are using it as a control aspect.
It's not automatically. It's just like that is something a conclusion that I've drawn. That's what that is. Like it's not what I think. That's what that is.
But I don't always feel that way.
Because I'll be honest with you. Because I know a lot of women that like they're socialites and they're with a partner that understands that and they don't change one bit of them because at the end of the day you accept someone for who they are, flaws and all. At the end of the day, the moment you start having conditions with someone, you don't really like that person. You like the idea of that person and you want to try to form them into your idea of a person that you want. Go find that. There are so many women that can meet that criteria for you.
Because that's your experience, that's the outlook
but
you
that's
have
life
on it.
though. That's real life.
Because I haven't had that experience before. You know what I mean? So I don't feel like if somebody was to tell me that, like it would raise maybe yellow flags. I wouldn't say it's a red flag for me in particular.
I didn't say it's a red flag.
But just because I didn't.
Yeah, I'm not. It's not a red or yellow. It's just kind of like I see what kind of guy you are, like immediately.
But I think it's one of like to go back to your point. Whenever you were saying like he continued to do the same things that he was doing single, I think that you have to ask like why are they doing these things? Like are they doing single man activities or are they just socializing? You know, like whenever, and I think that goes back to the concept of like what is outside. This can be graduation parties. This can be weddings. This can be baby showers. Like we're at a point in our life where people are having a lot of celebratory activities.
Yeah.
So are we now also grouping that into like outside activities? So now like as my partner, are you now asking me now to not go and celebrate other people that are around me? You know? So I think that it's just like, I think it depends on what is the intent behind the outing.
Right.
That's no.
Yeah, I don't think it's reasonable to be like, oh, you can't go. Like, he's not even saying like, don't go out with your friends. He's saying like, yo, can we? You're out with your friends every single weekend.
Can we dial it back?
Can we do some things on the weekend together? Can you give me the space to be able? Can you give me the space to be able to plan something for us on the weekend? Because if you always prioritize what you and your girlfriends have going on, then I don't even have the space to plan a date on a weekend.
Yeah.
But granted, like if my man plans something, all right, guys, I can't go. Like we got something going on. Like it's not an issue.
I still feel like even if there's not some things planned, again, I feel like if he's asking you, this is again somebody who assuming that you've been in a relationship for quite some time now. You guys know each other well enough for him to make that observation. I feel like if he's asking, I don't feel like it's like, oh yeah, every weekend I'm gonna have something planned. I just feel like he's actually just making an observation. Just be like, hey, can we dial it back? Sometimes there may be something planned, but other times, like, you know, if there's not something planned, like you said, we can sit in the house together. Maybe we can that's additional bonding time. I don't know. I do feel like when you do get in a relationship and you're preparing for marriages, unfortunately, like I said, there's some parts of like that are just going to have to shift, regardless if it's like time doing XYZ, just some things are just going to have to change. And even with him, some things are going to have to change. You can't be outside with your boys all the time. And even if you are, you have to come home at a respectable time.
But it brings down to my point of like outside because I had parents and like they were outside. So like,
Now,
you know what I mean?
feel
Like sometimes-
crazy?
not outside, like in that way. Like they were like events and stuff. So it's like to me, it's just to me, it's kind of like a challenge.
But they were
bit.
there together.
But
I think that's the
but
difference.
that's what I'm saying. It's just like, okay, so then do you want to start accompanying me with then going out? You want to start stepping out with me? Like, let's have these different conversations. Like,
Now, wouldn't you
know?
feel crazy if you go like you actually you
know what Nick's
agreed
about
to
to
his
say.
request and he still doesn't
he
choose
doesn't
you?
pick you, like, because it happens every day.
No.
I wouldn't feel crazy because you know
Every
where I'm
day.
going to be next weekend?
Outside.
No, actually, you lost your friends.
You lost your roster. You lost every
everything.
potential.
Okay,
They
so
gave off an
losing
image.
your friends,
Still having a
crazy
roster.
work.
I see why you told you you
I'm
have
just
to get
kidding.
the
No,
house.
I'm just kidding. But I'm just saying. But like, I agree with Nikki. Like, sometimes, like, I mean,
Yeah.
I've seen people lose their friends behind a relationship, and sometimes when it ends, it's hard to bring it back because the damage is done, and it's like they are not like. Cause the day like friends start peeping like, dang, you only want to deal with me if like you're not. You know, it's like
Not in a
we're
good space
friends
with
are
your
relationships too. That's a relationship as well that needs nurturing. So.
Yeah.
You can't. That's what I'm saying. I agree with Nick. Like you do all that, and then he does not pick you. It's like you did all that.
Yeah.
That's why you have to stay true to yourself and your core, and whoever's for you will be for you and accept you
Absolutely.
as who you are. Like that whole changing to be with someone, y'all. I don't agree with it because you know what? I've made that mistake before in my younger years. It got me nowhere.
I don't see.
So-
I don't think that it's necessarily about changing, right? I think that it's about compromising. That it's not about changing who you are in your core as a person. It's about saying, "Yo, like I really value this relationship. I want us to have time where we can spend, you know what I'm saying, on the weekends as well.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Can we, you know, create an opportunity for us to do that? You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
I don't think that's changing somebody like who they are fundamentally. I don't. Now
like-
if somebody has a particular belief system and you try to change their belief system, right? Completely, I think that's changing. That's trying to change the person.
Yeah. And that's kind of, you know what? That's kind of like what I'm speaking to as well. Like someone's belief system, like you are who you are. And like, there's a certain way they live their lifestyle. And now it's like you naturally, like when I was younger, I naturally like, okay, let me start like, you know, conforming to his lifestyle habits. Like, let me start doing this. And it's like, where are they now? You did all that where you made all those changes. Wasn't enough.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's why I say like women, like stuff like that. Like sometimes y'all just have to align naturally. It can't be a thing where now you're trying to fit into their life because you do all that and like you'll probably never fit because they're gonna always move the goalposts.
Moral of the
Yeah.
story:
You
go
know?
after people that you're equally yoked with.
Yeah.
Period.
And I was also going to say, like, with the whole aspect, not because I kind of agree. I see both sides. I see both sides. I see the sides of like someone asks you to go out less or whatever. They should have something lined up. But I also see the aspect of clearly, if you're in a relationship, naturally you're going to spend more time with your partner.
Absolutely.
So going outside,
You would hope so.
yeah. So going outside, that should decrease ultimately. But I do think this kind of brings us back to the whole fear of commitment thing because I do think like women, a lot of times when we enter relationships, we lose more than men do. Like realistically, usually the guy is going to keep his guy friends and whatever. If he, because think about it, he's asking you to go out less, but please believe any event that he has, he's not expecting you to think that he's going to miss any of that. But for you, he's going to think that
I don't
maybe
think that's fair.
I mean, it's not.
It's not.
Yeah,
It's not. But
if
if you
that
think
was the
about
case, I don't think that would be fair.
If
I
you think about it, if you're the more sociable person, then you have more events. And if he's asking you to go out less, then he's asking you, he's pretty much telling you could miss some of these things you can miss, right? In actuality, he knows that since he goes out less, he's expecting to meet everything, you know? So I do think that there has to be some sort of an exchange or like in a compromise, like he has to meet you halfway. So if he's saying go out less, I think it's kind of fair to say like, okay, if you want me to go out less, but you know I'm a sociable person, you know I don't like to be indoors, then it's like I don't want to spend my weekends in the house. I want to spend my weekends with you, but let's do something. I think it's a way you could deliver. You could say like, hey, I know you like to go out with your friends this weekend, but let's do a staycation. Let's do this. Like you have to kind of like ginger it a bit to make it make sense. Because I think a guy coming to you and say, I want you to go out less, and he's inside playing PS5 and you're upstairs and you're literally the whole time you're gonna be sitting there like, why
Scrolling
the hell?
on TikTok.
Why did y'all make that the scenario out of that?
Because like
Because-
that's what I
Like,
imagine.
what if that man don't even own a PS5?
Okay, he doesn't own a
Or like
y'all-
you're in the house watching soccer
What
or
if-
football and like
But why do we have nothing planned?
and nothing's
then?
planned.
What if he wants to have a movie night?
I think that you can make
You know
a
what
movie
I'm
night
saying?
that
What
you
if-
fall
like.
asleep to.
Right.
Huh? What if, you know what I'm
We go to
saying?
movies. Like, see, like if you want to have a movie night, like, and if like Michelle said, like, you know, I like to be outside. Like, let me have say it outside. You know, I like to go
No,
out
that's
and do
fine,
things,
like-
right? Let's go to the movies. Like, plan a movie date. Let's like go watch me. Like,
So
bring
again,
our
that could be the compromise. The compromise could be, listen, all right, look, a couple weekends out the month, I'll dedicate those weekends to us doing things. But instead of being in the house, let's actually go and do things together.
Right, like
you know
have
what I'm saying?
activities, you know, and like
so let's go to the movies.
Doable.
Let's go to dinner. Let's take a road trip out of town. You know what I'm saying? Like
See?
I think that's
Who
cool.
wouldn't compromise with that?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is he wants to spend time and on the weekends, right? So it doesn't have to be in the house.
But true. But you see how your delivery is? Some men don't know how to communicate that, or women too.
Y'all gotta get y'all some emotionally intelligent men.
Yeah, no, and women. Some women
that's
don't.
really the
some
key.
women, like some people just don't know how to tell people. Like, I just want to spend more time with you. Like they'll just be doing these like weird things. It's like,
But
you just want to hang out. Just say that.
If we're being honest, if you're really with somebody, because I'm gonna play devil's advocate here, because I think we're like it's turning into just like, not saying we're being argumentative, but we're like debating for debate's sake. But in actuality, if you're dating somebody, you really like them, your friend's not gonna see you as much.
No.
If you have to ask somebody to be like, spend more. If a guy is asking his woman, spend more time with me, he doesn't like you. I don't know. Maybe she having a 7-year affair. I don't know, because it's like, why are you so committed to outside?
But then also too, what if like it's not just outside? Like, what if like they're really like just like a really busy person? They have work, all that. Those are different obstacles too that you have to face. I don't know, challenges.
Yeah.
Well, this concludes another episode with the Petty Party crew, guys. Thank you so much, Nate, for coming in and talking with the girls. So do you have anything coming up? Is there anything you want to plug yourself in?
Follow me on Instagram from Nate with Love. I have a book that I wrote, so you can find it on there as well.
Nice.
Yeah.
Wow.
And what's it called?
It's called Flowers from Forgotten Fields.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's a book of quotes. It's a book of quotes designed to give women the feeling they should get from a man. Like, so
I love that.
So when you read
Wait
the
a
book,
minute.
it's really beautifully written. For sure. Yeah.
Come on, haiku.
Yeah, for sure. I always say, like, it's a book. If you want to know what it's like for a man to speak to you with intention, this book is for you.
Oh, wow.
If you're a man that wants to know what it's like to shower your woman with words of affirmation,
Wow.
then you can take some of the quotes in this book and just repeat them back to her, text it to her. And
So I have a question.
Free game.
What, like, for like our listeners, do you think this would be like a nice book for them to gift to like maybe like a guy friend or something that they feel like could be use some sharpening?
They could for sure, especially like a romantic partner.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Cool.
But it's beautiful. It really is. It's a beautiful book.
Yes, and we had a beautiful time with you. So
No,
again, thank you so much for stopping in.
Appreciate it.
Okay, guys, if you guys have any motos, you need any advice, please make sure you're sending them at pettyparty12814@gmail.com. Make sure you're following us on all social media. That's Petty Party Pod on Instagram, Petty Party Pod on TikTok, Petty Party Podcast on Twitter. So checking out. Bye, y'all. This is Crystal, aka Champagne Chris. Peace.
Bye, y'all. It's your girl, Shelly Shell.
Bye, everyone. It's just Nick.
And y'all, it's your girl Amakalette signing out. Holla.
Give me a P. Give me a E. Give me a T.